Forget about finding a lost sock and some spare change under the couch, because we've collected the most unusual finds that will change your perception of what you might find if you look in the right places. Apparently, there's more than just mud in the swamps. Deep in the murky swamps of Russia lies a Mi-4 helicopter that crash-landed 40 years ago, its metal frame slowly becoming one with nature. After many years, this perfectly preserved time capsule from the Soviet era still shows its original camouflage paint through the moss and vegetation. Take a peek in a Russian forest where these hunters stumbled upon something completely out of this world. A massive piece of a Soyuz rocket measuring 3 meters across. This space debris offers an otherworldly scene among the trees, hundreds of kilometers from the nearest launch site. Check out this rare sighting of one of the ocean's most mysterious creatures, a giant squid captured on camera 1,200 meters beneath the surface. This ethereal creature, measuring up to 13 meters long, demonstrates why ancient sailors told tales of massive sea monsters lurking in the depths. Deep in the forests of England, hikers discovered a really chilling sight. Dozens of stuffed dolls nailed to trees surrounding a mysterious Ouija board. Here in another forest, someone stumbled upon an equally unsettling scene. Plush toys hanging from branches. It's not the kind of playground you want to find yourself in. And this hiker met someone truly frightening when he went off the trail. A Barbie-faced scarecrow that was watching over an empty cabin in the woods. How about finding a massive 8-meter wide pipe washed up on your local beach? That's exactly what happened in Norfolk, England. When this 480-ton giant was lost from a Norwegian transport vessel and drifted across the North Sea before making its surprising appearance on shore. This is the Canso bomber that made an emergency landing in 1945, still resting 1,000 meters above sea level in British Columbia. Even more incredible is that this aircraft was carrying 450 kilograms of explosives when it crashed, making its intact condition truly remarkable. Namibia's Skeleton Coast, where over 500 shipwrecks create a creepy graveyard of vessels slowly becoming consumed by desert sand. These haunting remnants of maritime disasters, some dating back to the 1940s, serve as reminders of the treacherous conditions that have earned this coastline its ominous name. It's one of the greatest finds in history, China's legendary Terracotta Army, where over 800 life-size warriors stood guard for 2,200 years. But what's truly remarkable is that these ancient soldiers were originally painted in vibrant colors, and new archaeological techniques are finally revealing their true magnificent appearance. At 100 meters below the surface, divers encountered what appeared to be a menacing great white shark, only to discover it was actually a prop from a Swiss movie made in 1975. This massive model, measuring 7 meters long, now serves as an eerie artificial reef, but some locals are unconvinced and believe the statue is pure. Using nothing but a powerful magnet, this magnet fisherman pulled a perfectly preserved MP40 submachine gun from the depths of a murky swamp. This remarkable piece of World War II history had been lying undisturbed in the mud for over 75 years. Someone's dream of a sea of Kinder Surprise toys has come true. After a cargo ship lost a container in rough seas, thousands of plastic Kinder Surprise eggs created an unusual tide on a German beach. The bright orange capsule stretched for kilometers along the shoreline, giving beachcombers a truly unexpected surprise. It is amazing, but in the middle of the dense Amazon jungle, instead of the usual wild animals, people came across an 8-meter humpback whale. Scientists are still puzzled over how this marine wonder ended up so far from the ocean. Some blamed a storm, but whales usually don't swim close to the shore to begin with. There are no signs of attack or distress, and so the question remains: how did this giant of the ocean depths end up in the heart of a rainforest? In this scene straight out of a pirate tale, a metal detectorist found an actual treasure chest buried in the woods of Massachusetts. Inside this rusty storage container, dating back to the 1800s, were perfectly preserved coins, jewelry, and mysterious trinkets waiting to tell their story. Using just a metal detector in a muddy field, this treasure hunter unearthed a stunning medieval ring that had been lost for centuries. The intricately designed piece still maintains its original beauty, despite being buried for over 500 years.
The very first gold ring I'd ever found with my metal detector.
Now let's descend into the crystal clear Mediterranean waters, which revealed an extraordinary sight: a 2.5 meter tall statue of Christ standing sentinel on the seafloor. This submerged masterpiece creates an otherworldly scene as fish swim around its outstretched arms. Deep in the Turkish mountains stands a perfectly rectangular doorway carved into solid rock. This mysterious portal, measuring 2 meters tall, appears to lead nowhere and has left archaeologists puzzled over its ancient purpose. Can you believe that hiding in the heart of a dense jungle was an enormous cargo vessel, kilometers from any navigatable water? This 80-meter steel giant seems impossibly placed, creating one of the most surreal abandoned sites on Earth. Behold this massive boulder perfectly split in half, yet remarkably balanced on tiny rock fragments. This natural phenomenon appears to defy gravity, as the two massive pieces remain perfectly aligned despite being completely separated. How about this find on the cliff faces of Sagada, where ancient coffins hang precariously more than 100 meters above the ground? This ancient burial tradition has preserved these wooden coffins for over 2,000 years, symbolizing the connection between earth and heaven. This farmer's regular day took an unexpected turn when he discovered a massive 250-kilogram safe on his property with an intriguing note that reads, "The opener gets the contents." Although the farmer couldn't open it himself, this mysterious find sparked such excitement that the neighbors rushed to try their luck at cracking it open, eventually leading to police intervention. But finally, the farmer decided to keep the mystery alive by donating it to a local museum unopened. Speaking of out-of-this-world mysteriousness, this girl found an odd-looking UFO in her backyard next to a fallen tree. This perfectly symmetrical object, measuring 1.5 meters in diameter, shows no signs of conventional manufacturing and remains unexplained. Check out this perfectly spherical stone discovered in Bosnia, measuring an incredible 3.5 meters in diameter. This massive ball weighs over 40 tons and has baffled scientists with its nearly perfect geometrical shape. And among the locals, there is a story that those who visit this location feel a special energy. During reconstruction work at the legendary Notre Dame Cathedral, archaeologists made an extraordinary discovery: a perfectly preserved lead sarcophagus from the 14th century. Even more remarkable, a tiny camera revealed the contents were incredibly well preserved, with fabric, hair, and even plant remains still intact inside this medieval time capsule. This lucky metal detectorist in Somerset made the discovery of a lifetime of 52,000 Roman coins weighing 160 kilograms buried in a single clay pot. This remarkable treasure, dating back to the 3rd century AD, was equivalent to 4 years' salary of a Roman legionnaire and was found just 30 centimeters below the surface after the detector made an unusual beep. A team of explorers discovered a massive disc-shaped object at the bottom of the Baltic Sea that left scientists baffled. This mysterious structure, measuring 60 meters in diameter, the size of a Boeing 747, sits at remarkable depth, and even more intriguing, causes all nearby electronic equipment to malfunction, while analysis suggests this metallic formation has been there for an astonishing 140,000 years. Imagine, you are walking in the largest park in Minneapolis, and suddenly you see a man in the ice. The shocking find prompted passers-by to call the police, but soon the truth was revealed. It was not a frozen mystery, but an unusual work of art by Zach Schumack, who wanted to get people out of social networks and bring them back to reality. Prepare to be amazed by Mexico's Cave of Crystals, where massive selenite crystals reach lengths of 11 meters. That's taller than a 3-story building. These transparent giants, formed over 500,000 years ago, create an otherworldly landscape in conditions so extreme that humans can only survive inside for 10 minutes without special equipment. After the ice melted, searchers found an over 100-year-old shipwreck lying just below the surface in the crystal clear waters of Lake Michigan. It was the ship Rising Sun that ran aground due to a blizzard in October 1917. Now it's a unique memorial because 100 years ago, thanks to the help of local residents and the Coast Guard, all 32 people on board were rescued. How about discovering a colossal rock formation that perfectly mirrors the serene face of Buddha carved into the mountainside? Hidden within the remote cliffs of Guizhou province in China, this awe-inspiring geological wonder stands over 50 meters tall, resembling Buddha's head emerging from Earth. What's truly captivating is that this natural sculpture was formed entirely by erosion over thousands of years, and locals believed it radiates spiritual energy, making it a sacred site for pilgrims and travelers seeking tranquility. These are the stone heads of the ancient Olmec civilization, enigmatic sculptures that have puzzled historians for centuries. Carved between 1500 and 400 BC in what is now Mexico, these monuments reach up to 3 meters high and weigh around 40 tons, depicting human faces with unique features. What's most interesting is the unknown purpose and origin of these giant heads, sparking debate and awakening imagination about one of Mesoamerica's earliest and most influential cultures. On a beach in Dorset in England, you can find seagulls, sand, and a giant dragon skull. But this finding is actually an impressive art object 12 meters long and 2.5 meters high, and was created as part of an advertising campaign for the popular Game of Thrones TV series. 3 sculptors worked on it for 2 months, and now this 2.5-ton masterpiece attracts the attention of passers-by, perfectly blending in with the coastline known for its ancient fossils. The worst thing you can expect to find during a normal excavation is a stubborn rock. not a one-ton bomb from World War II. That's exactly what happened in a Belarusian village, where workers stumbled upon a 2.3-meter-long German aircraft bomb. Because of the danger, experts decided to detonate it on site after creating a safety zone. The explosion was so powerful that it left a crater 5 meters deep and 15 meters in diameter. Step aboard our next discovery, a massive cargo ship that became an unexpected permanent resident of Costa Rica's Manzanillo Beach after its captain deliberately beached it in 2017. This rusting giant, which is now a public art installation, allows visitors to freely explore its deteriorating decks and mysterious interior chambers. What makes this maritime monument truly unique is its dual nature. While its exterior has been painted in cheerful colors by local artists, the eerie, abandoned interiors still whisper tales of its final voyage. On the bottom of the coast of New Jersey lies an incredible find: 2 sunken steam locomotives from the 1850s. These rare Planet-class 2222T locomotives, believed to be the only ones of their kind, were discovered by a diver in 1985 at a depth of around 27 meters. It is still mystery how they ended up on the seabed, but it's speculated that they might have fallen off a barge during a storm, making them a unique underwater museum and attracting researchers from around the world. While exploring with a metal detector, this lucky treasure hunter stumbled upon a locked safe that would reveal an incredible piece of American history. Inside the rusted vault lay a pristine 1851 Navy Colt revolver from the Civil War era, alongside a glittering collection of gold and silver treasures that had been sealed away for generations. After carefully cracking open the safe, the finder not only discovered this rare firearm worth thousands of dollars, but also precious metals and artifacts that paint a fascinating picture of 19th century wealth. Under the waters of Alexandria, archaeologists have found majestic statues hidden for more than 1,600 years. Among the finds are giant granite figures of pharaohs, queens, and the god Hapi, reaching heights of up to 5 meters. These amazing sculptures, submerged in the sea due to earthquakes and floods, revealed brilliant art of ancient Egypt, preserved in the underwater realm of the Mediterranean Sea. Where once stretched the majestic Aral Sea, now lies a vast desert with rusting ships standing on the sand. A massive diversion of water for irrigation in the 1960s reduced the sea by 90%, turning the former part of Moyniak in Uzbekistan into a ghostly ship graveyard. Now these deserted ships have become a grim reminder of the consequences of human interference in nature. Instead of reefs, these divers found an entire German World War II submarine that sank more than 7 decades ago. This turned out to be a 67-meter submarine U-1021, which disappeared in early 1945. It is believed to have been blown up in a minefield laid in the waters around Cornwall and now lies here on the seafloor. The last thing you expect to find in the Egyptian desert is an entire valley packed with the skeletons of huge whales. This is Wadi Kitan, or Valley of the Whales, where the fossils of around 1,000 ancient whales, including complete skeletons, have been discovered over an area of 200 square kilometers. These incredible remains, some 40 million years old, provide unique evidence of the evolution of whales from land animals to sea giants, making this place unique in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But not everything in Egypt is covered in sand, and this next find proves it. This is the White Desert with chalk cliffs, where there are more than 200 unique chalk structures reaching heights of up to 30 meters and taking the bizarre shapes of mushrooms, columns, and abstract figures. Although it all seems to be the work of an artist, it's actually formed by wind sculpting the chalk over thousands of years. What would your reaction be to finding an entire wall of beehives? This is the work of local Chinese farmers. A sheer cliff over 1,200 meters high has about 700 hives hanging from a vertical surface. These hives hang from bamboo structures and are kept in this extreme place because the bees here produce the best honey due to the rich flora in the area. When you see dozens of abandoned cars stuck in the ground and stacked on top of each other in the middle of the desert, don't be scared. This surreal site in Nevada is one of the strangest car galleries on Earth, called the International Car Forest of the Last Church. It was created by two artists who turned 40 abandoned cars, trucks, and vans into delicately balanced art, which looks like a group of toys some giant child simply left lying around. Imagine opening the hood of your car and finding a mountain of walnuts inside. That's exactly what happened to a North Dakota man when he discovered that a squirrel had stuffed about 150 kilograms of walnuts into his car. The little animal had used the car as the perfect storage space, leaving the owner shocked and simultaneously impressed by the squirrel's persistence and hard work. Sometimes the sea throws something really unusual ashore, like a real piece of space junk. On this Australia shore, a huge piece of something strange was washed ashore, immediately attracting the attention of the public. It turned out that this object was part of an Indian rocket used to launch satellites into space. You thought Jason only haunted Crystal Lake, but it turns out the masked character of Friday the 13th also enjoys a good dip in Lake Pleasant. These divers found a realistic Jason Voorhees statue at the bottom of a lake in Arizona, and while local authorities considered the statue to be trash, for local diving enthusiasts, it has become one of several strange attractions they use as landmarks. Here's what a Canadian photographer found in the woods: a strange installation of old shoes hanging from trees. Hundreds of boots, sneakers, and shoes are tied to branches sticking out of the ground or nailed to tree trunks, creating a mysterious sight. Locals can't explain the origin of this shoe grove, but some consider it a memorial or a protest of the free walking movement popular in the 1970s. In this Estonian swamp was the resting place of a forgotten tank from the World War II era. The T-34 tank, built in the Soviet Union and captured by the German army in 1944, was pulled out of a swamp 62 years later after it was submerged. Amazingly, even after all these years, the tank's engine managed to start, making this find a true time machine and a rare artifact for history buffs. The Soviet Project 903 Lun, a Soviet shielded missile carrier, the legendary Kapsian monster, was found on the shores of the Caspian Sea. This unique hovercraft was launched in 1986 and could reach speeds of up to 500 kilometers an hour, which made it practically invulnerable to enemy ships. Now the only remaining Lun is exhibited on the shore near Derbent, where everyone can touch a part of history. This group of boys exploring the woods came across something unexpected: an abandoned Suzuki dirt bike. It seemed to have been forgotten in the woods for years, but despite its condition, it still looked impressive. Now the boys plan to repair their find and bring it back to life, turning the abandoned bike into their own adventure story. After Cyclone Asani, the coast of Andhra was littered with unusual finds, but the most impressive of them all was a mysterious golden chariot. This mysterious object, resembling a floating temple, was found adrift by locals who pulled it ashore. but no one ever figured out where it came from or how it ended up in the sea. And now it's in police custody, still raising everyone's curiosity. How lucky do you have to be to find a fortune hidden in the walls of your home? That's exactly what happened to this man who discovered a pile of money hidden in a wall as he was doing renovations. There were a mix of different banknotes representing a large span of years, but there were no answers about why the money was hidden or how long it had been there. You can imagine the surprise of the surfer who discovered a mysterious object that looked like a rocket on a California beach. This unidentified technical artifact, more than 3 meters long, caused quite a shock. But it is believed to be a piece of research equipment lost during an oceanographic expedition. Locals in New Zealand found 400 whales beached. Unfortunately, about 300 did not make it, but volunteers rushed to the rescue, trying to save the 100 who survived and prevent them from returning to the shoal. Scientists still don't know why whales are making such mass strandings, but the volunteers haven't given up hope and are doing everything they can to save these amazing creatures. That is the last find for the day. Don't forget to leave a comment and tell us which find impressed you the most. And don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. See you in the next video. Bye!